Okay, now we'll be moving on to alcohol. And alcohol, they are organic compounds that contain the hydroxyl group. Okay, so the hydroxyl group. And you can see that this hydroxyl group, you need to end with OH bond, right? Oxygen and hydrogen bond. You can see that I have my methanol here and my ethanol here. All right, this is my methanol. Okay, my methanol, and this is my ethanol. Okay, and alcohol, they have physical properties. As you can see here, they are soluble in water, right? They are soluble in water, but their solubility will actually decrease as their molecular size increases. So their solubility will decrease as their molecular, right? Their molecular size increases. Right, it's like it gets bigger and bigger and it's getting harder and harder to dissolve in the water. Okay, and what about the melting and boiling point as their molecular size increases? Right, molecular size increases. Right, melting and boiling point actually increase as well. Why is that so? Because as your molecular size for your alcohol increases, they need more energy to break the bonds between them, so they need higher temperature to melt them, to change from liquid to gas. That is why melting boiling point increases as their molecular size increase. Alright, so these are the physical properties. You have two of them for alcohol. Now we'll be moving on to chemical property. Alright, so for chemical property, you have two of them as well. You have your combustion and your oxidation. Alright, for combustion, we need to have, as you know, we have two things for combustion: complete and incomplete combustion. So it's the same thing. For complete combustion, they give you carbon dioxide and water. All right, they give you your CO2 plus H2O. And for incomplete combustion, they give you your CO plus your H2O and your C, or your carbon in a solid form, plus your water vapor. So this is for complete combustion, and this is for incomplete combustion. Alright, so they still undergo combustion for your alkane, your alkene, so does alcohol. And the next thing that is a bit new to you is the oxidation. Right, so alcohol, they you need they go through oxidation, meaning to say they will slowly oxidize by air to produce acid, which is the next topic, your carboxylic acid. So alcohol oxidize to give you your carboxylic acid, right? So this, they'll give you your produce your carboxylic acid. Alright, so this is the oxidation process for alcohol. And so you have, for example, your ethanol to ethanoic acid. Right, now in the lab we can do this. Alright, the oxidation of ethanol to ethanoic acid when you have, alright, so I'm gonna write here, you have your ethanol. Alright, so you're gonna change to your ethanoic acid. Right, this is your ethanoic acid under certain condition. Right, so this is going to oxidize at the lab, right, your school lab. You can do this, right? So but you need to add, all right, since it's a slow process, you need to add catalyst. All right, so we can add potassium dichromate, right? Potassium dichromate. So we can add potassium. All right, potassium dichromate. You can add this inside, right? And you will see that the color will change from orange, right, to green. Right, this will be the color change. Or you can also add on in another situation, you also can add on potassium manganate, and that will give you the color change from purple to colorless. Alright, so or we can add on potassium manganate, Alright, manganate. Right, so potassium manganate, this will get you from purple, the color change from purple to colorless. Alright. And you also need to take note that alcohols are neutral compounds, meaning to say they are not alkaline, right? They are neutral compounds. So alcohol, they are neutral, right? They are neutral compounds, alright? And they are not your alkaline, right? They are neutral compound. And the hydroxyl group, the OH, right? The OH, this OH group, the hydroxyl group, they are covalent compound. They are covalent compound, alright? So since they are both non-metals, oxygen and hydrogen, this is covalent compound. Alright, covalent compound. And the hydroxide which you have, alright, I'm going to write it at the top here. These are the misconceptions that a lot of students have. This OH minus, this OH minus, they are ionic. They are ionic, they have a negative charge and they are basic, right? So you need to take note that the OH for the hydroxyl group, they are covalent compounds, but your hydroxide, alright, this is your hydroxide, they are ionic, alright, because they have a charge. Okay, next we'll be moving on to producing ethanol. Right, we will be doing, I will be showing you how you can get to your alcohol. As in a while ago, I showed you a bit on how you can from alcohol to carboxylic acid, how you get from alcohol to carboxylic acid, and now I'm going to show you how you can produce your alcohol, right? So we'll be moving on to producing ethanol. A very common example that schools will be using to show you how you're going to produce ethanol, alright, it's the same as producing alcohol. Alright, so you have also two methods. Alright, you can see here you have your catalase addition of steam to ethene, which we actually went through on the addition reaction on your alkene, that you have to add steam to alkene and that will get you your alcohol. So you know this a bit. And what about the condition? The condition is 300 degrees Celsius at 60 atm, alright, 60 atm, and the catalyst that you are going to add will be phosphoric acid, right, equals phosphoric acid. So this is how we're going to spell phosphoric acid. Right, this is the catalyst you're going to add inside to fasten the reaction. So there you go, the condition for producing ethanol, alright, when you add to ethene. And the next thing that is your fermentation of glucose, and this is a new thing, right? So you're going to add yeast, right, to a sugar solution, alright, and the reaction mixture is going to be left in a warm place at a room temperature about 37 degrees Celsius for a few days. So this is a very slow process. So I'm going to write here for you to see yeast. You have your yeast plus your sugar, alright, your sugar, and yeah, and that's all. The condition will be at room temperature, right? You got to be a warm temperature, warm room temperature at about 37 degrees Celsius, alright. So and you're gonna leave for a few days, right? Few days. This is a very slow process. As you can see, a few days. You're gonna wait a few days before you can drink your alcohol drink. Yeah. So alright, so yeast. Why do we add yeast? Because yeast, it acts on carbohydrates. Alright, so because yeast they act on carbohydrate, and carbohydrate is your sugar. So right, this is carbohydrate. Right, carbohydrates are your sugar and starch. Alright, so fermentation is the process of converting sugar into ethanol and carbon dioxide, right, catalyzed by enzyme in the yeast. So it's going to give you your ethanol and carbon dioxide is being produced. So you have carbon dioxide produced. This is going to give you your carbon dioxide, right, your ethanol and your carbon dioxide. Alright, so You need to know that it is impossible to make pure ethanol by fermentation. Why is that so? Because yeast is killed when the mixture contains more than 15%, alright? 15%, 15%, alright? So 15% of ethanol. So when you reach 15% of ethanol, right, the mixture contains more than 15% of ethanol, yeast is being killed. So pure ethanol can be obtained from the dilute solution of ethanol by fractional distillation. So it is going one big round before you can get your pure ethanol. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the difference between these two processes: ethanol from ethene and ethanol from fermentation. Right, I do not have the space to write fermentation. So you can see from here, this table, you have your ethanol from ethene. All right, they use non-renewable resources, but your ethanol from fermentation, they uses renewable resources. Right, you can see that one of them is faster and one of them is slower. So fermentation is a very, very slow process. You got to wait for a few days, but you get your ethanol from ethene. All right, the way that we went through just now. All right, it's a very fast reaction. All right, it's a very fast reaction when you add steam to it. Okay, and you can see the comparison. One produce more pure ethanol, and one produce a dilute solution ethanol. Right. So you need to go through fractional distillation to get pure ethanol. And ethanol from ethene, all right, you need high temperature and pressure. So you add steam, yes, you get fast reaction, you produce more pure ethanol, but you need high temperature and pressure. This means you need better equipment. It's more expensive, and it's not good because they use non-renewable resources. While on the other hand, ethanol from fermentation, you can just do it anytime, during the day, right, at the room temperature, and you use renewable resources, but it's a slow process. So even though it's cheaper, but you need to wait for a long time, right? So this is the difference between the production of ethanol, right? It's the same for methanol and propanol, right? Last but not least, we have the uses for your ethanol: solvent, fuel, alcoholic drinks. Alcoholic drinks, drinks, alcohol drinks, alcohol, right? So solvent, they are your deodorant and your perfume. And fuel, of course, you need fuel for vehicles. So this is important to produce alcohol. And right, so next we'll be moving on to carboxylic acid. Alright, thanks for watching. Do like, comment and share if you have any question. We'll see you the next time.